The Seventh Son of Man. Written by King al-Shaitan Rasul min Nar al-Nur. This book is a clear exposition of the truth and knowledge from an entity, experiencing life as a man, among man. Living in the flesh. Written in the year 2022. As a means to guide those who seek the answer to existence. It will have a different effect on each person that reads or hears my words. As we are all unique. And therefore, so is our existence. Chapter 1, Creator. Chapter 2, Time. Chapter 3, Shammai Yuza. Chapter 4, I the Giant. Chapter 5, Table of Splendor. Chapter 6, Transition Lycanthropy. Chapter 7, Born a Slave. Chapter 8, Song of Elena. Chapter 9, Book of Blood. Chapter 10, Thy Cross. Chapter 11, Songs of Bird. Chapter 12, Wandering Man. Chapter 13, Black Cube. Chapter 1, Creator. Knowledge and rebirth shall imbibe. Suffering and sorrow shall hem in. I write these words to all who shall read or hear them. Not so I can deceive man in any way. So I can share the truth, in this particular life, in which I am living. In the now. The rays of light from a glittering sun fall upon my flesh. As it disappears into darkness. Behind tall cold mountains. Kneeling to my Creator. A Lord of light who has no mercy for man. One hand placed upon level ground. Of a garden. In disparity my other hand reaching for my place of origin. Among 7 stars. I bow my head in failure. I can hear informing shadows. Darkness of man. As serpents whisper to me. Seducing me. Distracting me. Confusing me. Luring me. As I cry out to my place of origin. Among 7 stars. Pleading for mercy. Begging to return. Withstanding a forever silent response. Of that plea. I know. I must remain bound of flesh. This realization compels me to understand thy purpose. Of my eternal existence in this particular life. In which I am living in the now. I plant trees. I plant flowers. I spread seeds upon the dead. A garden shall rise from man's corpse. I am among stars. I sleep in shadows of light. I awaken in darkness. Before a sun shall rise. I shall creepeth in preparation. For a day of light, water, bringing dirt to life. One knee bent. My back broken. I bow my head in shame. For a job I have is of a GG. A slave. A pick I swing. A shovel I dig. Deep inside myself I feel I have the greatest song of all. To plant seeds, trees, flowers throughout stars. A blessing in disguise. I create life letting balance take place. I walk beside man as a slave. Loving, understanding. Everywhere I walk as a slave through light, water, dirt. I create life. I love flowers. I love trees. As I love thee. Far, far, far. From my place of origin among 7 stars. No longer hovering. I have descended upon level ground. I am walking among flesh as a man by choice. Through darkness into light to prepare all souls who hear or read my words. Their place of origin. Among 7 stars. As to bring man his awakening. Through knowledge, truth. This knowledge, truth has been withheld by man to control man, to enslave man, to achieve total submission of man over man. In this particular life, through my sorrow and suffering in which I am living in the now. To live with man. To suffer as man. To sacrifice with man. To endure with man. To love man. To die as a man. But yet, am I a man? As it is God's, who truly created Adam and walked through the garden. It is I, a entity, king of suffering and sorrows, a slave who tends to every need of gardens, its flowers of enchantments, trees of truth, fruits of knowledge. I heard a whisper of serpents in shadows of a garden, as I will tell all who seek truth. My transitions are spent planting seeds, trees, flowers, preparing dirt below. I can manipulate any world with trees, flowers of life. Mountains are nothing to concern. Time does not exist. So it has been forever. Yet I have just risen again and begun. Your truth is here before you. Your inner self has pleaded like a child. Your questions remained with returns in eternal silence. Yet a day of knowing has come for all to unite through truth of origin. Your cries and pleas have been heard. While you yourself unknowingly walk beside creators in a garden of truth and knowledge, you deny creation. Yet it is you who exists. Answers you seek lie within. What you choose to believe can only be taken by what you have been told. Your human mind has replaced instinct with fear, truth with lies, memories with dreams, life with death. Manipulating of your entity has been achieved. Flesh does not have capacity to understand realm of light. A purpose for which your existence is more than algae formed on a rock. Although entities evolve from experience, flesh does not acquire these attributes. Distorted by lust, selfishness, greed. These distractions are what gain splendor. It is I, who is reborn over and over again, leaving signs of my existence, to remind myself being of who I am, my place of origin. As confusion of life in flesh has distorted purpose, I have built many wonders out of stone in past reigns. I have written many messages upon these wonders, for purpose of recognition of my existence, my reincarnations. Although memories are cleared upon rebirth, certain remnants remain. These remnants are triggered by visions you received of a particular life you chose. Impacts that certain lives' reverberations have upon your existence. Chapter 2, Time. As visions of your future. Enter depths of reality. Like a serpent intentionally, I infect you with your fate. Screams echo your acceptance once knowledge comes to pass. These melodic sufferings and sorrows are eternally carried with me in my song. In my 7th year times my 7th year equaling 49 years of existence. In this particular life in which I exist in the now. This shall fall 2022 years from a great hovering of light. 39,666 years from the day of creation of my entity. In my eternal existence from darkness to light. I have awakened in the year 1972 AD. In the month of Janus, a god who sees past and future. Keeper of doors. On the 24th day of the moon. Firstborn of 12. I, the entity of light contained within flesh. Slave of the garden. The Son of Man. Time does not exist. But yet, now does. You are experiencing now at this very moment. As you read or hear my words, you cannot return to origin. In the beginning. Creation. A moment of starting. Ever. You cannot experience yesterday again. Yesterday is not a memory. Yesterday has left you. Yesterday has betrayed you. Yesterday is what you could have done. Yesterday is who you could have been. Yesterday is who you were. Now is who you are. Not who you wish to be. Now is yesterday, now is this moment. Now is tomorrow. Now is 1,000 years times thousands of years. Now is 1,000,000 years ago, and 1,000,000 years from now. Now is forever. Now will never leave you. Now is where you will always be. Now is the truth, not a lie. Tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow does not exist. Tomorrow is this very moment. Tomorrow will keep you in submission. Tomorrow will bait you. Tomorrow is who you could be. Tomorrow will whisper to you. Tomorrow is in your dreams. Tomorrow will seduce you. Tomorrow is what you could do. Tomorrow will control you. Tomorrow will break you. Tomorrow will trap you. Tomorrow will enslave you. Time does not exist. Tomorrow will never come. Tomorrow ye shall die, yet I shall be reborn. In my 49th year of this particular life of my eternal existence, as a man among man, in which I am living in the now, through darkness, far, far, far from my place of origin among 7 stars, no longer hovering, I have descended upon level ground. From light into darkness, I have awakened a slave, as a man among man. Yet I am aware of my existence. I am aware of a past, present, future. Man has lost his ability of origin, knowing, understanding. This human life has been lived in sections of 7 years. A year consisting of 365 days. A day consists of a sun rising, when souls of light begin to sing, and birds sing songs to a Lord of light who has no mercy for man, who favors melodic songs in his name and glory, instead of spoken, confused words and pathetic cries of man. When birds are silent the sun shall fall, allowing evil of man, creatures of darkness that creepeth and crawleth to rise, to prey upon the weak, created with purpose to give some type of balance. These creatures and man hide in shadows. These are called creatures of darkness, including when man is killing man. When the sun rises once again bringing warmth to flowers and trees, and waters among lands, then birds sing songs to all once more, with hands of the rising sun upon thy flesh. This shall be one day of existence. At this time, I am at the crossing of my 7th year, times my 7th year, equaling 49 years. The creation and conception of my eternal existence. In this particular life, in which I, the king of suffering and sorrows, was a man among man. My walk with man as a giant, among man. Of the many lives I would live, this was in fact my first in the flesh. Thousands times thousands of years ago. Yet it was in the now. In the flesh. I was a creation of my Father, a fallen star of light, from the 7 stars. His name is Shemiyuza. Pronounced Shemayuza. His name is not a word, it's a song that sings in his presence. His song is heard by all in his presence. His song is felt by all in his presence. His clothes sing his song like serpents slithering, moving about his body, whispering. Yet he wears no serpents. Yet he wears no clothes. His song alone, when heard by man, makes man unbalanced and fall to the ground, in terror. His song plays loud like thunder, yet it then fades away quietly, ever so gently. Like a whisper fading into eternity. For a song defines each entity of light unique to their knowledge and experience. No one can escape their song. For it changes with each lesson and surrounds the presence of light contained. Your name is not a word, it's a song that sings upon your presence. Your song will never lie. Your song is who you are. Your song is everything you have experienced. Your song is felt by all in your presence. The first part of Shamiyuza's song starts with Shu, which stands for silence. The next part of his song Am, which stands for existence to be. The next part of his song I, which stands for vision to see. The next part of his song You, which stands for you upon his presence. The next part of his song S, which stands for song of a snake. Mesmerizing, hypnotizing. The last part of Shamiyuza's song is Ah, which stands for fear, the first scream experienced by man. This would remain man's eternal pleading scream of fear, of terror. His song also contains the word shame, which is the conscious emotion of regret from separation, he pressed upon others of the light. His song also contains the word I, to see. His song also contains the word Yuza, which is a word of enchantment. His song meaning is silence, shames, existence, visions, mesmerizing, enchanted, screams. For 1,000 times thousands of human years. Yet for all eternity. Time does not exist. So it was in the now. The light of the 7 stars, upon a glance, exchange songs and colors defining them. Their experience. Their presence. Too intense for humans to hear. So most are only seen within a dream or in a flash. Yet not seen for eternity. Man never forgets these particular meetings, between humans and eternal lights from the 7 stars. My Father, a favored light of the Lord of Light who has no mercy for man. My mother, yet a human woman metamorphosed into a witch. She would be mesmerized by the first incubus. Incubating a serpent seed of my father's enchantments, deception, enslavement. She would be the first to bear a Nephilim. A creation feared by all men. A man of yesterday, now, tomorrow. Everything man wished to be, yet never could achieve. For man is just a slave of the light. My father of fallen light Shamiyuza. For my father's lust and seduction of human women. He was cast out of light and sentenced to flames of darkness. Shamiyuza infected particular lights from the 7 stars. To lust for human women. To place seeds from serpents, within human women. Not by speaking, or twisting words. By enchantment. Blending his corrupted lust-filled song of light. Lights from the 7 stars are able to share a feeling. This a small part of the entire emotion, experience. Similar to a vibration. Yet when they are in each other's presence. They exchange songs, colors, feelings. Light mixes, light blends, before our eyes and among the 7 stars. Upon doing so, this exchange may corrupt a light. Giving it a vision, a taste, a smell, a vibration, a emotion of a particular existence. Now corrupted by exchange. Particular lights, started to pursue feelings of lust. Shamiyuza had brought back, within his song. To the 7 stars of origin. Shamiyuza. Then made an agreement with many entities of light. Now corrupted, light started to lust for human women. Shamiyuza decided to create a temptation infecting, corrupting, other lights. To teach human women. The knowledge of plants, herbs. Knowledge of truth from lies. Knowledge of spells, songs of enchantment. This intention was forbidden, by the Lord of Light who has no mercy for man. This act alone was the first betrayal of his Creator. This deception would solidify Shemiyuza to be the first to be cast out and expelled from the 7 stars of origin. This process had to be done in order for light to lay with human women, to plant seeds of creation. Shemiyuza, once a favored light, betrayed his own creator, the Lord of Light, who has no mercy for man, convincing others of light to lay with human women. In order for this to take place, the lights known as Watchers of Man gathered, made an agreement to meet on level ground. As watchers for the last time float above clouds, twisting, turning, screaming, in circles of flaming pentagrams. Knowing the descending to level ground would be the last flight in the heavens, they secretly called this descension shame. This word was used in the first part of Shemiyuza's song. Lust was overwhelming them, so darkness defined their songs as each moment passed. East of the waters to a mountain top, Mount Hermon, Jabal al-Sheikh. Upon this mountain watchers formed an agreement. Creation of a pyramid. This was a creation of fallen lights. This pyramid is known, in ancient times as the Eyes of Light. Shemiyuza used a song of enchantment to enslave 1,000 times thousands of men, to help build this pyramid. Shemiyuza had each light participate and build this pyramid, solidifying the agreement. Deep within the pyramid was the creation of the ark, which contained power of light within. Man could not touch the ark, for radiation of light within would discolor skin, causing death to most. This light within contains a spectrum of light that humans cannot see. Yet it was all they seek. Their song in stone. Their agreement in stone. A triangle shape in stone. The Eye of Light pyramid is this agreement. The pyramid upon completion was used to sing a song of enchantment to the 7 stars that seduced innocence, stealing lights from the 7 stars. This gave the fallen the ability to be reborn as man. These stolen souls were children of human women. They varied in color. They varied in size. They varied unique attributes. This pyramid played a seductive song. This song was a trick. This song a trap. This song lured lights from the 7 stars, singing a song of seduction, of enchantment. This pyramid. This song. This trap. This agreement, the pyramid, solidified betrayal of the Lord of Light, who has no mercy for man. This betrayal would condemn these lights to this world. Knowing the Lord of Light, who has no mercy for man, would punish them in eternal darkness upon level ground. Before this punishment, they created wonders on land, and deep, deep, deep below, to utilize these hidden wonders during their fall to level ground. The selection, seduction of human women that could learn these songs of enchantment was very difficult. Many perished painful deaths. My mother, a human, transitions into a witch. My father Shemiyuza taught these songs of enchantment to her, to seduce her, to control her, to enslave her, to plant seeds of a serpent song within her. For her life became more painful than a purgatory of death. I, the giant, was then created, entity of fire and light. I am the 7th son of the 7th song of the 7 stars. I am a stolen light, reborn, again, and again. Chapter 4, I the Giant. I the giant bear extreme hatred for man. I consume man's pathetic soul. I break man. I enslave man. I display man's flesh and bones as a king's crown upon my throne. His body below me. During my enslavement of man, I am the ultimate terror within. Man broken. His song of screams. Torments echo, fading eternally. Upon my presence thy song paralyzes. leaving you helpless to flee. Infecting every particle you contain, in your pathetic self-being of light. I am thee. While I approach man. In my presence the song of submission, enslavement, terror, screams, is penetrating man's flesh. Frozen with fear. He is paralyzed upon my presence. My song can be heard to the clouds, across the seas. Yet I never sing. I corrupt all of man. Breaking them to nothing as slaves. Infecting their women with my serpent's blood. I am from the garden of man's origin and creation. Building my kingdom of broken, lost, entrapped souls. Imbibing their light. Every cell is in agony. Purgatory is eternal. All the flesh. All the bones. Looking in their eyes. I will inhale their last breath. As I imbibe their pathetic light. My hunger. My hatred. Never satisfied. Man, woman, child, all shall be my slaves. Creature of darkness. I am thee. I command my horde of torment. The giants. We the giants larger than man. 7 to 10 feet tall. Hair covers our bodies, like a lion, like a wolf. Our faces with a likeness of man. Yet not a man. I wear flesh of thy hunted. Captured trophies. Upon my head I wear the bones. Formed into a pentagram like a king's crown. I am like no other before me. I am unique. I am a giant. The terror, that hunts you within. Horns I have one, in the center of my forehead. Blood dripping. Eyes equal 4, 2 of man, 2 of animal. Ears equal 4, 2 of man, 2 of animal. Legs equal 6, 2 of man, 4 of animal. Hearts equal 2, 1 of man, 1 of animal. Mouths equal 2, 1 of man, 1 of animal. Tails equal 1, of animal. My skin is like art. Drawings tell my stories. Pictures that move about my flesh. Demons, pentagrams, flames of darkness dance upon thy being. My song is of terror and torment surrounding you within. I hunt in darkness. In silence. In shadows. Wild, free, untamed, packs of terror. My horde of torment, screaming, howling, twisting, pentagrams of hell's fire burn about thy crown as I approach. The stench of burning flesh emanating upon my presence. I have broken them into nothing. My hunger never satisfied. I have hunted, tortured, enslaved and eaten man. He has set many traps, spells, and enchanting herbs for me. I have escaped them all. I have outsmarted man. I am a giant. The greatest terror within. My army of giants, and I stand in silence upon creatures we ride. As I dismount my bare feet upon the ground. The sand between my toes. My horde silent. My horde patient. We creepeth out of shadows from the garden of creation among trees of darkness. To open land where they hide. Careful not to forewarn man. We can hear them. We can smell the fires. Man is close. I can taste victory, as serpents whisper within my darkness. I carry my weapon held high. Like a flag but yet not a flag. It's the exact length of my height. Made of whiter than white. Mixed with more silver than silver. A splendor of color dances about. The moon's effect upon the oceans. Also controls my staff. It appears as a slow spinning sphere, on top of a twisted staff. As I the giant. Leave the trees behind me. The garden of creation fades. My firstborn son appears on my side. He follows and protects me through eternity. I love him like no other. His song is pure silence. His weeping for my love can be heard by all in his presence. His rage and hatred for my enemies can be felt by all in his song, in his presence. Men fall off balance for the overwhelming intensity of his silence. Yet the sensations creepeth upon you, mercilessly killing any and all who challenge me. My brother to my left follows me in each rebirth to flesh. His song is the first rhythm, a pace of steadiness. His song plays about, pounding the beat that unbalances you. In his presence the drums pound war. Thunder so loud, the ground shakes, upon his manifestation. Throughout eternity, they never leave my side. Approaching a hill, out of the shadows of darkness. Beyond the trees from within the garden of eternities and creations. As I transition from the darkness of the trees to the open sand ever so quietly. My horde close behind. Silence, timing. Beside me. As I creepeth towards the top of this hill. And see man's village down below. I have searched for them. To conquer them. To enslave them. To punish them relentlessly. I laugh inside, a distinct laugh. This laugh of death will follow me throughout my reincarnations. Upon my eternal existence. This laugh is contained deep within my memories. I look down at man's camp. His fires for warmth flicker. They are sleeping. Serpents sing inside my mind. As the infected blood flows within my being. Laughing at man's stupidity. Knowing I soon will claim victory. I stab my weapon of splendor, the staff of the moonlight. Into the sand upon the ground. The full moon above. My horde of giants moving into position. The horde of suffering and sorrow shall sing. A flash of light appeared, from the moon to my weapon. The staff of splendor and light produced ambience, an ambient light. Blinding all of my enemies to an incapacitated state. The light from my staff has confused man, bringing him to his knees. Those that can move can only crawl. For they have no balance upon the light. As man falls in submission, they are easily controlled. The hunt is over. Man is now my slave. I shall punish him endlessly. Upon my victory the Lord of Light, who has no mercy for man, has captured my corrupted light. Returning me to the 7 stars. The place of origin. The wicked blood of serpents flows within. Man lies to children of the flesh from birth. Manipulation of the innocent children of light. Creates a slave of flesh. Man lies to man. To deceive man. To trick man. To break man. To confuse man. To force man into submission. To control man. To enslave man. As a man I hated man. I hunted man. To punish man. To extinguish man. This particular life of my eternal existence. I am a light among lights. I was whiter than white. Pulsing from the center. With no colors to define me. As sleep falls upon me I enter the realm of eternity, visions and dreams become reality. I return to my place of origin among the 7 stars. Upon my presence the gift of knowledge and memories fall upon me. Remembering who I am, who I was, and whom I shall be. I find peace upon the comfort of truth, from a garden of creators. I the giant, live for eternity. Darkness the color I have conquered. Yet the colors define me. From the center of my light as I pulse whiter than white can be. Along my outer points I contain blacker than black can see. A splendor of brilliance no flesh can achieve. I, the giant. Although conquered. I the giant. I exist eternally. Chapter 5. The Table of Splendor. The Table of Splendor. As a light among lights. I am whiter than white. A splendor of colors so great, no words can describe. Only the experience of my presence and deep within my song can then allow you to know anything about who or what I am. I am not one. I am many. Through my eternal existence of life living many lives in flesh. Dying many deaths. I shall be reborn eternally. I am a man. Yet not a man. I am many men. Endless experiences of life. Knowledge. I am not greater than nor less than. I am equal to. I am. The Son of Man. Eternal existence. I am. A creation of Lord Shammah-Yuzha. Betrayer of the Lord of Light who has no mercy for man. I am from and among the 7 stars all at once. Yet not at all. Time does not exist. Yet we are in the now. I have no memory of the creators. I only know that I am loved beyond any other. Yet in my song I am not loved at all. Only through memories of choosing this particular human life. The laughter, smiles, memories of my deaths. Shall these words come forward to you upon my existence? No longer hovering. I have descended upon level ground. I am living in the now. As man among man. Clear memories, visions, a place of origin among 7 stars. As fire. Light, darkness blended among elements. Hovering like a star 4 other lights equaling 5 separated lights. Floating in a flaming circle. Each individual point of light to complete points of a pentagram. Equaling 5 lights. Each light a life within a life. Each light more than one light, within a light. They were many lights combined with no darkness to contain their brilliance. Free to glisten, shimmer in splendor even greater than a sun. The sun is bound surrounded by darkness to contain it. We 5 separated lights forming a circle. 5 points of a pentagram. We were allowed to look upon the table of splendor. To choose this particular existence in which we are living in the now. We are among 7 stars in our place of origin. Yet we can see throughout darkness into eternity. As I am one light. My queen another. My son another. My Elena another. My precious another. Equaling 5. We although light. Have thought. We have action. We obtain understanding of all we have experienced. As I looked in the center of the circle forming the pentagram. There was a clear dome over the table of splendor. In this dome we all stared. As I gazed upon this table. A splendor of color amazed me. A table as white can be. Mixed with more silver than silver could ever be. These colors blended, moved about as if it were alive. The table is shaped like a symbol of eternity. Like a hourglass. A dome so clear, it did not exist. Yet it is here before me. A glass dome yet no glass exists. Floats about a table of splendor. Protecting its precious contents. Inside a wonder of creators. A Lord of Light who has no mercy for man. Beauty never described in man's words. Your world. This world. A world. Contained by a firmament yet invisible yet visible dome. As if earth, its oceans, and every living creature is inside living before me. As I hover in a circle of 5. Flames of light forming a pentagram around me. As I gazed upon this world. A world. Your world. Beneath and through a firmament. Glass yet not glass. I felt as though I were hovering just above a creation of another garden. As if I were seeing through the firmament. The dome. The glass. Into the table of splendor. While floating above a world. In the table of splendor. I could see many lives from their beginning conception to their very end. The suffering. The happiness. The confusion. The darkness. I was allowed the choice to pick any particular life that I may choose. The lives infinite. A life of no pain. A life of endless pain. A life of love. A life of no love. Possibilities were endless. Whatever life I may choose. This was my gift from the Lord of Light who has no mercy for man. Yet I am far, far, far from this level ground. Among my place of origin. All at once yet not at all. I am without form and void among 7 stars of creation. Preparing for a descending upon level ground. A life in flesh. The circle of 5 would join me. Yet in flesh I would forget they exist. At that moment. I looked into and through the glass dome the firmament. A point of my light reached toward the dome. I pointed of my light, at a life I choose. At this particular life. In which I am a man among man living in the now. As I did this. My vision wandered to the left. I stared at that particular light. Mesmerized by the familiarity. She then spoke into and through me in song, colors, and tongues. Yet she had no face. Yet she had no eyes. Although she was one light, she was more than one light. She was many lights of splendor. Each color of splendor contained for a life lived. My light could not believe what I could see. What I could feel. What I could hear. What I could be. Even more beautiful than your world. More beautiful than your words of man could ever describe. Was she. Was her. My queen. Was everything to me. Her soul. Her song. Her light. Unique. My queen. My love of loves. Her light was like clothing that sings to me. That smiles at me. That plays music all around me. That loves me. One gaze upon her was infinite. Was a memory. Was the future. Was what I want to be. Was love. Was everything to me. Her song echoes in you inner self-being. Playing the warmest embrace you have begged for eternity to feel. It grows more and more each moment. Endless joy and happiness surrounds every particle of your entire light. Your pathetic song fades slowly as her glory silences your entity. Her song sings through you, like a flaming sword of everything you could never be. Through you selfish wants and terrible needs and desires. Her song so pure it has escaped into my eternal dreams and memories. Escaping her place of origin. Among 7 stars. Becoming part of thee. She is the blessing to me as I am to thee. My song of suffering and sorrow fades slowly, quietly. As she loves me more than you. More than them. More than everything that ever was or ever could be. Her love for me is everything you could never imagine. Everything I could never be. My silence defines her presence, as love overwhelms thee. As she could see a life I picked. She said without words upon her presence. That is why you are loved more than all my king. Her song then slowly became louder and louder with joy. As I was overwhelmed with everything I cry for. and everything I could ever need. As our children remain in silence, choosing their lives in flesh. She then picked intersecting lives to join me. Although she would live in the now to join me, she would be killed at the hands of man only to be reborn to comfort me. Life in flesh slowly fades. As light turns to darkness, songs of eternity take over thy being. Memories are my reality. Everything that I am. I slowly enter the realm of the 7 stars, my place of origin. Everything I experienced is absorbed into my entity. I rejoin those who have waited eternity for my return. Yet it was just a moment. My experience creates a new song within my presence, that all can hear and feel. Those who are in my presence rush to my side to see what I have done. As it reverberates upon every particle of my light. Returning to my place of origin is also very difficult, for I have left the ones I love. My Elena will live in sorrow. Yet deep inside she knows she will be with me again among the 7 stars. In this particular life. In the flesh. Throughout my eternal lives and laughing at my deaths. In my memories. As I walk with man. Suffering in sorrow. In which I am, living in the now. As a man among man living in the gardens. To endure. Far, far, far away from my 7 stars. As I see it upon my visions. Deep within my memories. Darkness and I sleep. I then awoke not greater than or less than but equal to. The Son of Man. Chapter 6, Transition, Lycanthropy. I become the wolf. So they rejoice in my banishment. Alone. Broken. Without her guidance. I embrace darkness. Her words. Her image. Her song. Slowly fades from my inner self-being. I will hunt. I will kill. I will repay all who have tricked me, stolen thy queen. Thy light. Thy lovey. As time would come to pass our mental connection becomes stronger in my absence. The wonder of my days to her becomes a mystery. Only hearing evil and lies about my existence. I become a creature of darkness. Concealing the real me. All fear me. So lies create my song, thy shadows. All know I can return as a wolf or a man. Taking my queen with a song not words. They fear everything about me. Everything I am. Everything I can never be. I have transitioned. I am the wolf. Kneeling I bow broken. Full of tears, suffering, sorrow, a pain like no other ever endured. My love for her is pure. Therefore my pain is magnified, unimaginable. My light is dimming. My song is fading. My love is betrayed. My life unlivable. Through the tears the greatest pain man can endure. The loss of everything that makes your self-being exist. My love for her beyond anything man can describe. Endless words spoken for eternity could never elucidate my love for her. Through endless lives we cross in the flesh and blend our songs. Through each physical life in the flesh. I shall suffer and endure her loss. This loss alone enough to corrupt me as a man, into the darkest creature ever to exist in flesh. To hold her hand once again. I would let all lives perish suffering in agony. I chose to lose her over and over again. In the darkest depths of flaming pentagrams hell could never create. Knowing we will separate in each physical life lived in flesh. I choose this suffering and sorrow to gain colors of splendor. Needing experience of the flesh to achieve vibrations within my song. Through pain, suffering, spell of the wolf of darkness is placed upon thy light. Loneliness, revenge, hatred, despair, enchantments for transformation. Spell of the wolf infects ability of reason. Battles of darkness to take over light begin. Now pathetic, weak, submissive, slowly losing control. Processes define predatory abilities of the wolf. Becoming where wolf is achieved. Psychological process of transformation unique. Man's inner self now broken. War with his subconscious fatigue, never ending. The wolf has won. Human flesh emanating distinct sense of wickedness. Love for others turns to despising repugnance for all. Light within eyes fade. Hair grows at the same rate, yet a will to stay clean is gone. Skin turns to filth. Cleansing yourself is a form of preservation no longer desired. Speech is reserved for your outbursts, to your inner self-being. Reasoning conflicts within. Transition from man to werewolf has taken place. Now a physical metamorphosis can be seen. Every particle contains thy werewolf. Now hunting in darkness. Punishing those who deceived. Placing this ancient curse. Fear of wolf. Upon the weak. This curse placed upon the weak haunts them with fear of the werewolf. Hunting for revenge. The feeling of being hunted so intense, it overwhelms the weak participants. Only those who have played a part in the deception of the innocent man, acquire this curse of fear. The mind contains this knowledge. Yet the ignorance of man is unaware. Deep inside remains small particles of former self, intensifies rage. Man is overwhelmed. Giving into whispers of serpent's blood flowing within. Man grows pure evil upon his inner self. A subconscious inner being takes more control than the physical human. In the darkness the werewolf hunts. Seeking out those who contributed to his transformation. Killing with rage so intense it appears as if a wild animal has ripped the human apart. I bear scars like no other. Lives and memories suffering, sorrow in my song of existence. I feel deep within myself flashes of a wild animal existing. Hot water upon my feet stimulates euphoria. Sunlight upon my flesh sends chills of comfort. Yet the purpose unknown. Since a child, serpents called me. Yet I deny whispers of evil. My pulse is purity. Yet serpents slither about me, always creepeth and crawleth around me. Darkness like a welcoming chant that seduces me. I smile in my own eyes knowing who I was, who I am, whom I shall be. The transitional process is taking place. Realizing weakness will transform me. I endure. As years would come to pass. Great battles would take place within my inner self-being. I would know that evil is very much a part of everything I could be. Yet the smallest particle contains memories of self-being within. For those who played a part in my transition to wolf. I have hunted, enslaved, broken, betrayers of the endlessly, relentlessly, within my mind. I have trapped them, punished them, forever keeping them within my darkness. This punishment alone has invaded their inner particles of thought in their song, distorting their being, a curse upon them within their minds. Yet in flesh I have allowed them to escape. Like a wolf catching a rabbit, not out of hunger for it runs in habit, so the wolf chases out of instinct. Playing, tormenting the rabbit then allowing it to escape. As I close my eyes darkness falls upon me. Entering the realm of eternity. In my visions, in my dreams, in my memories. As time would come to pass. As it has been forever. Yet I have just risen and begun in the now. Experience of this particular life corrupted me, distorted me. Yet it has empowered me. As I have considered the punishment for thy enemies over and over again. I have contained a part of them within me. I feel this rage is contained within my self-being. I am in control. Yet fear losing control. Love for thy lovey, for thy child Elena, has kept me from conscious impulses and falling to darkness. Yet I am consuming the pain as I thirst for knowledge within my light. I understand this test, this experience. Yet I cry inside for relief. Yet I trap this emotion upon my vibration, upon my song. This is the tone that echoes upon my presence. I am the wolf, the king of suffering and sorrows. Chapter 7, Born a Slave. As time has come to pass, it has been forever, yet I have just risen, and begun. Time does not exist. I enter a deep sleep, darkness falls upon me. As I awaken by songs of a bird. My visions, my memories transcend into reality. I am born a slave in this life. I was unloved, starved, beaten, as a child. Left to live outside, under the 7 stars. As I lived in the elements lived in me. I became part of the stars at night. And part of the dirt by day. As I would act human around humans. I would be wild in the wild. I know loneliness like no other. I know hunger. I know hard labor. I only know pain. I was sold by my father to a man of different color. He himself a dark-skinned descendant of slaves. Preserving my innocence. He violated all around using me as slave. Yet through my young age, and light color, I am a symbol of status. As I transition into understand, a situation I have no control of. My mind cries out to 7 stars, asking why must I suffer in this way? Endless silence was answered, as a vision fell upon me. I shall endure. As days turn into years, and years turn into whom I shall be. My hands bear scars of a slave. My bones bear weight of 3 lifetimes. My flesh burned, by countless rises of a sun. My hair whiter than white. My eyes blue of the heavens. Damaged by intense brilliance of sunshine. Yet I'm propelled by a glory of its existence. My magical pick I swing. A gift from 7 stars. I push on to dig each hole. Each trench. To plant each seed, each flower, each tree. I bring water to dry land. Life to dirt. I am a slave of man. Yet my enslavement is my blessing. As each man who comes to labor with me falls, I push the wheel of eternity on and on. In the elements, I realize, I am the elements. I was raised in the elements. I stand alone rise after rise of the sun's glory. I understand my place as a slave. Yet what meaning does this have? Why would I choose such terrible suffering upon myself? To give life. To plant seeds. Trees. And flowers. To endure. Motivated by my will to survive. Songs of a bird, awaken thee each morning. Gaining a slight shade of color upon thy light. I accept my place as a slave. I have no control of perpetual motion of those around me. Yet deep inside I know, I shall impact them all with words. Those closest to me, live in their own created darkness. As I dig each hole, for coming seeds of life. My visions, of my self-worth distorted, by the goals of others confusing me. Is it I? A slave who understands the meaning of life? Or has life of a slave caused me to withdraw, deep inside my own mind, creating this reality, I believe to be my self-existence? As I question my inner self, I become more aware of signs and symbols I have left behind to remind me of thy origin. As my love for man is unmeasurable, so I share this knowledge with another. I only gain jealousy, with envy, from man, as he will question his lack of knowledge and understanding. I have learned to contain knowledge, in order to protect myself. Born in a land west of a pyramid of light, I was taught a language of white man. Sold to a black slave owner, I learned slang of a black race. Slavery then followed, so I speak a language of brown-skinned slaves. Knowledge came upon me through suffering and sorrows. I learned the ancient language of the black cube. I communicate with dark-skinned foreigners from the south, as I am their leader yet equal. The white man is too weak to be a slave. So the southern migrations grow more and more for white man's convenience. As I am whiter than white, my eyes blue, unlike any other. I don't belong among slaves. Yet this is the only place I belong. As the days turn to years, I stand still in eternity. I grow to love slavery. I become the strongest of them all. Mentally I become the most knowledgeable of all slaves. While they all focus on problems, I focus on solutions. The dark-skinned slaves are confused by my love for slavery, as I have embraced enslavement, turning it into a blessing. The dark-skinned slaves changed their perception of white man's abilities. For I am among them and endure more than they could ever imagine. I dream of becoming someone else. Yet I don't dream at all. My inner self considers being free. Yet I fear freedom. Never wanting to be alone. Yet loneliness has strengthened me. I know nothing other than what I have done. Yet I have just risen and begun. I am a master of slavery. Yet I appear to be the slave master. I appear to be ignorant, yet I give words of unknown knowledge. My compassion to slaves. It is this that confuses them. For I should be a slave trader, not a slave. Yet experience of slavery is a blessing, that takes many lifetimes. In the flesh to understand. To experience a life you would fear most. Finding meaning, purpose, something that cannot be explained. Perception is something that is changed upon experience. So your knowledge is not gained by words. Lessons in flesh are distorted by man's selfishness, to propel his individual self, not the tribe he dwells in. It is I, the king of suffering and sorrows, that resides with man to learn from eternal lives lived in flesh, to return to the 7 stars with colors of splendor. These songs will echo within for eternity, yet the melodies were gained in only a moment. As each sun rises it touches my flesh, I feel a connection of its light upon my light within. This connection of light upon light allows me to feel I belong. Sunshine upon my flesh is familiar to me. Everything else is out of my realm of understanding. Thy hatred for my tool of slavery had distorted the blessing I had received. My magical pick has allowed me to outpace all. Giving life to lifeless land, seeds of flowers, trees, to be placed growing life within. A ancient magical pick is used, yet there is no magic. It is within myself that inner strength propels me, to overcome boundaries of man, and his limited abilities. I am a slave like no other, for I love trees, I love flowers, I love dirt, I plant seeds throughout the darkness. I seek out pain, loneliness, despair, suffering, sorrows, with confusion to acquire splendor, to gain vibrations within my song. As the knowledge comes to pass, I welcome a life of slavery without fear, for I know it is a moment to capture experience, gaining colors of splendor to retain upon my light. My perception of what should be was trapping me into a weakness. Upon my understanding of enslavement, I gained the knowledge of reason. Returning to my place of origin among 7 stars. As darkness falls upon me, entering a deep sleep, upon my visions, my memories, I transition from a slave to awaken the Son of Man. Chapter 8, Song of Elena. As time would come to pass. It has been forever, yet time does not exist, so it was in the now. Darkness falls upon me, as I enter a deep sleep. Birds begin to sing. I awaken. My visions, memories, transcend into reality. Echoes. The greatest blessing of all. Elena has returned to me. Through rebirth she has rejoined me in flesh. In the now. From her place among 7 stars. Elena has witnessed my persecution. Elena has chosen this time to comfort me. As I would not survive impending doom placed upon my entity. Our lights are eternally connected, therefore we cross paths in flesh. Elena searches within eternity, to remind me of everything, that I am. Everything I could never be. I realize upon her presence, that she is everything I have ever looked for. My loneliness fades with her presence. Questions all answered by her song that vibrates through my entity. Only upon reflecting on her words, do I gain meaning of her expressions. Elena's return to flesh, bringing with her knowledge of our origin. Those who are lost will question her meaning. As I know the answer. Truth is always retained as lies will fade. Her lessons are absorbed into my particles. Elena contains knowledge of origin. It is this knowledge that follows us beyond the 7 stars, to this level ground. Each lesson learned I feel. I am closer to the meaning of this particular life, in which I am living in the now. Yet reality of this life ends in pain, which is a fear I must control. In a circle of 5 lights equaling a pentagram. Hovering about a table of splendor. I was joined by those who are eternally connected to my light, my song, my entity. As I hover about 7 stars, before my descension to level ground. Making a choice to enter the flesh of man. I must leave behind my memories. My entire self being of knowledge. A song of individuality gained since my creation. Love for those in a circle of 5 lights is beyond anything words could never explain. Although love for thy queen is infinite. Everything a king could ever wish to conceive in his mind. Love for thy son even more than any father before me or after in eternity. My pride for him exceeds every aspect of expectation a father could ever have from his inner self-being. The song of Elena is everything I ever wished for, and everything I ever needed. For she truly loves me, more than any other without hesitation. Her love for me fills every empty chamber of thy self-being, and shines in every particle, and dark corner, of the light which forms my entity. The song of Elena can be heard in my presence, for it reverberates throughout my colors of splendor. It is her that completes the circle of 5 and unity. Her love for me contains the evil serpent's blood flowing within my flesh. Her words and melodic pleas for my self-control keep me within reason in thy flesh. It is this love that makes me hated, admired by all in light, for it is impossible to achieve. Yet I have achieved this level through my suffering, sorrows, and my sacrifices. As my self-presence grows closer to any and all forms of light, a song is played containing my extreme suffering and sorrows. Yet feeling Elena's love for thee can be felt by all in my presence. As each moment in life passes, I face man's lies, imprisonment. Elena's song keeps me upon level ground. Fighting on with everything it takes to reach this level of color, upon my splendor of light. There is no way for man to understand these words. It is only through experience, that I shall gain this knowledge. Some words, never how perfectly or cleverly spoken, can ever give man wisdom or knowledge. He needs to gain experience. For it is just that experience is what gains splendor. In my presence songs of Elena can be heard. My love for Elena is more than any and all entities could ever achieve. Through endless experience. Elena is a creation of my eternal need to fill sorrow and suffering, I display. Her entity was achieved by endless suffering and sacrifice, her song is for thee. Elena is everything and all that could never be. She is the force that balanced me. That saves me. That reminds me of everything I ever cried for, and everything I could ever need. Her love for me propelled me to suffer without regard for self. The sweetest softest angel who loves me, surrounds my self-being with her song. Those who have caused pain upon her, I will make you all suffer. I will not let you end. They will burn forever in my presence. I will listen to your screams, as if they were songs playing a symphony so harmonious, that I only exist to hear the next tone. As I sit on my throne made of bones, and pieces of flesh I have ripped from your existence, subconscious and your mortal self-being. I have inhaled your light, you are mine forever. I keep you below my feet, wiggling, crawling, and begging about. You will never know mercy, only increased pain. I will punish you every second eternally. All in the name of Elena. When you gasp for your last breath, I will inhale your pathetic soul. I will breathe, back in your nostrils your gift of life. Only to inhale it eternally. To push you from darkness to light again and again. You will forever fade in and out of life to death. Darkness to light. I will punish you for all eternity. As you watch darkness slowly deepen in my eyes. Adulating skin. I slowly eat your decaying flesh. There can be no punishment great enough for those who have betrayed Elena. Our dreams, our visions, are memories of lives in and out of this flesh. Elena is the key to the door of my existence, which is locked upon birth. It can only be opened once knowledge has come to pass. As I close my eyes, darkness falls upon me in my memories, my visions contain light. I enter into harmonious melodies within the song of Elena. Song of Elena. I'm in water, I'm in water. I'm in water. It's dark in the hallway and there's a monster. I'm scared, ah. Hurry. 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 I'm Elena. I see my daddy. I hug my daddy. I'm in water. I'm Elena. I hug my daddy. In the water. 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 Chapter 9, The Book of Blood. As darkness falls upon me, I enter a deep sleep. I awaken from my visions, from my memories. I hear songs of birds singing glory to a new day. As I push the wheel of eternity, it spins without hesitation. I realize I have once again incarnated as a man among men. Not greater than or less than, but equal to all. I am in my 7th year times my 7th year equaling 49 years of existence in the now. This life has been lived in sections of 7 years. First of 7. My mother a virgin. Second of 7. My father a serpent. Third of 7. Alone in darkness. Fourth of 7. Thy written songs. Fifth of 7. Thy heaven thy lovey. Sixth of 7. Punishment a succubus. Seventh of 7. Inner self-being. Awakening the Son of Man. 1995 years after a great hovering of light. Thy Prince Gino cometh to life from Ambrosius meaning divine immortal ever living born on the 4th of 7. On the 9th month of September, meaning 7th of the 8th rise of the sun. Upon the river. 2019 years after the great hovering light. Thy Princess Elena cometh to life, from Helen meaning shining light. Born on the 6th of 7. On the 3rd month meaning God of war. Of the 18th rise of the sun upon the desert. 2003 years. After the great hovering light. Thy precious cometh to life. In the month of March, the time of war. As darkness falls upon me, I enter a deep sleep. Falling into a realm of eternity. My visions, memories, transcend into reality. I awaken by songs of a bird. Creation of man was achieved thousands times thousands of years before this moment. Yet it was in the now. As I rise reincarnated, beginning my quest for colors of splendor and vibrations within my song. In this flesh, as knowledge has come upon me through a process of experience. I am trapped in vicious circles of time equaling sections of 7 years. As each section of 7 contain lessons. Confusion has fallen upon me. Yet these sections of 7 solidify my self-awareness of reincarnation, eternal existence as an entity among man. As a connection between 7 stars and level ground become obvious. I smile even more knowing whom I am. As minutes become hours, while hours become days. Yet days become years, although never a passing moment. I become more aware of a man I was. A man I am. A man I am soon to be. Through constant repetition of reincarnations. I am starting to gain control over a life in flesh. As my memories become more vivid, thy visions more clearly understood. Signs with symbols I left in ancient times. To remind myself of whom I am. These signs, symbols have surfaced to point me in a direction. As a circle of life turns wheels of eternity, our place of origin is easily forgotten. There are many who seem to intentionally distort messages left behind. The advancement in days of the now has made information easier to obtain, easier to falsify. Chapter 10, Thy Cross. As my song was pure in light. My song now distorted in darkness. Flesh has broken me. I consciously choose evil over the creators. I will not survive singing songs of origin. I shall embrace songs of Al-Shaitan to achieve metamorphosis. As I turn across from north to south, I feel a transformation of my light to darkness. Forgetting who I am. Whom I wish to be. Demons take over the flesh. Systemic transformation achieved. Serpents whisper to thy inner self. Tricks of demons to plant seeds. Yet deep within my visions, contain memories of my place of origin, among 7 stars. Reverberating within my entity, deep inside my presence is purest of evil. Incubating flames contained within my inner self. Pulsating, pumping, serpent's blood about my flesh. Circle of 5 lights. Pentagrams of flames float above my being, casting shadows upon light. Cross pointing south of heaven, upside down upon thy chest. A portal to Al-Shaitan. Witches whisper seductive chants trying to enter thy gate, upon my entity. Words painted black and red about my flesh, describe my conformity to religion of hatred, lies. Songs of Al-Shaitan soothe my disgust for man. Melodic whispers welcome me to their realm. I no longer love him. I despise his existence. Everything he stands for, which is nothing but himself. I will punish man unlike anything before me. I shall use a cube, a cross, a book, and words for my weapons. Demons whisper my name, as I enter each room. Fear of my intention compels weak flesh to bow to my darkness. I am thee. Receiving a mark of Al-Shaitan upon my chest. Pentagram of flames in the center. Songs of thy loved ones upon the outer edges. I have awakened witches of temptation. As darkness falls upon me, visions, dreams, commence. Witches whisper to seduce me into conformity. Yet within smallest particles contain resistance. Constant cries, begging, deception, trickery of darkness. Searching for a place of familiarity. I welcome them with reluctance. Reflections of thy light no longer exist. I have become a member of Al-Shaitan's horde. Protecting my light with surrounding darkness. Becoming stronger with each step. Women seduced by my image, self-created. I plant seeds of Al-Shaitan. Fear in eyes of those who ridiculed. Memories contain my hatred. Strength of darkness surrounds me like serpents devouring prey. As black clouds fill the sky. Here there is no day. Escaping fools will try death. The only way. Faded black cube of screams. Creator's dwelling floating about. Comes forth out of the abyss. Loss of all balance, upon your knees you crawl, pleading. Returning your entity to fire. Serpents whisper. Slithering about. Corrupted songs you bow in shame. Only light you shall see is flames. As the light turns to darkness, sleep falls upon my self-being. In this rest, in my dreams wicked cries of witches try to seduce, persuade me. To allow them to enter this realm through my portal. Pentagram upon my chest. A south-facing cross, a gateway for darkness upon light. I cannot allow witches, demons, to enter. Upon my defeat, I will forever be trapped in evil darkness, that will possess me. Through my strength thy internal being wonders, how many weak souls have been taken in this manner. As I stand beside my queen outside in the elements. Darkness has filled our sky. Night has come, allowing creatures of darkness to come about. Light of the sun has completed a journey behind mountains. I look to the west and see a distorted mass appearing as birds flying above a lake. Yet there are no birds. As birds rest in darkness. My mind questions this distorted image floating above trees. As this distortion hovers about, growing closer, an image becomes clear. It is a black cube with a white halo. My mind creates images to justify its presence. The glory of creators is within this cube. As it floats about in silence. Thy queen cannot see its glory. As it is reserved just for me. My excitement turns to fear. Then to wonder. As an image of creators appears within my mind. As it turns toward a land of secrets, I understand this moment. As I kneel before creators, who are deep within a black cube. Visions intercept my mind. As a presence. With glory of its existence is before me. I am everything a mind has experienced. Yet I cannot see creators, through darkness about the black cube. Only experiencing a presence that forms an image within my mind. Fear comes about thyself, yet wonder pulses within. I have been chosen to kneel before glorious creators. A riddle now invades my thoughts, giving me a key to answer my questions. When I see my reflection I smile. Knowing I have been chosen. Knowing everything I am. Everything I wish to be, has been granted to my self-being. I now have knowledge to propel my entity forward, giving answers to those who have cried and pleaded to creators. Chapter 11, Songs of Bird. As time would come to pass. Darkness falls upon me. I enter, a deep sleep, visions, memories, transcend into reality. I awaken to songs of birds. These melodies vibrate throughout every particle of my self-being. Feeling a sense of familiarity. I would then stare into eyes of song makers. As birds would look back in wonder, as if they were hiding and just found. As they realize I can see them, a sense of familiarity would overwhelm me. I could almost understand what they were singing. While they sing, a sensation comes about me. I could memorize each tone. As I repeat their songs back to them, they all go silent. Birds then jump closer to me, to get a closer look. They are in wonder of my ability to steal their songs. Now I communicate with birds, as if I have been given a gift of melodies. As each day passes, I see birds, a sign to remind me of my ancient past. A time when I was not a person of today. A being not of this moment. A time thousands of years, times thousands of years before. Yet it was in the now. As I realize ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, particularly of birds carved in stone, preserved this knowledge that is now lost among man. I recognize many signs, as you would a person you met many years before. Yet you just can't place them or remember their name. Yet a sense of familiarity overwhelms your being. Confusion of familiarity causes you to second-guess instinct. As a child, I would see seagulls flying, then landing in confusion. As if they were lost. Yet no one notices them. Man is too busy with himself, to acknowledge elements. As I have become the elements, a gift for my time as a slave. As each day passes, I awaken to songs of a bird. I start my journey to a place of knowledge. A school of lies. Upon my journey, I would witness birds from a sea, standing on man's land, fabricated for convenience. Yet I was many days from a sea, so my mind was confused by a presence of these particular birds. They do not belong here. We are in a desert. There is no water. Places birds return to now desert were once water. This allows me to understand the cycle of life. We return to places for reasons within. As years would come to pass. I have now become a man. My awakening by birds. My journeys have expanded. My memories are triggered by a continued presence of birds of a sea. I would witness them again and again each year. Each time closer to meaning of the bird. I realize a message from birds. They return to places of origin, from thousand of years ago. Unknowingly so does man. This is the way. Yet man has no memories of his place of origin, from constant incarnations. Man will find himself in each life at certain places, from his past lives in flesh. Yet he will not understand why he was compelled to be in these places. Some will recognize a sense of familiarity to mountains, to forests, to seas, to stars, to skies, to people. The answers lie within. All living beings have instinct that propels existence. Man has distorted his instinct, and replaced it with confusion, fear. As particular creatures of seas, skies, and lands return to place of birth by instinct, man shall cross his own paths, of yesterday. As a particular crow would journey across my land, I would listen to his song. This crow unique to me. As I look at him, he looks at me. His journey is slow, he is scanning the land in which I dwell. He talks to me in song. I repeat his song to him. He looks in disbelief. As the days turn to years, years turn into whom I am to be. I would leave this land only to return. Upon my return, a particular crow visits thee, looks into my eyes, sings a song, then rapidly tilts his level flight to a degree, acknowledging that he has memory of me. The crow begins to fly over daily, always talking. Tilting his flight to acknowledge our friendship, I return his gestures with repeating his song. As we are both in disbelief of each other, we have become friends accepting one another. As this particular crow would spend the next 20 years visiting me, I become familiar with him, his daily pattern, his song. I explain to my queen a friendship I have acquired with this bird, his song, his gestures. I name him Winged Man, not realizing I have just answered his origin. This bird was man who has returned as bird. My wonders grow stronger as time would come to pass. Each day he returns, solidify my inner conclusion of his origin. Does Wingman know he is a light from 7 stars? Does Wingman remember he was a man before his transition to crow? Does Wingman retain memories by familiar images, as patterns of our friendship grow stronger? He sings, he speaks to me in every flight. As years would come to pass, I would journey from my land to another, leaving Wingman to his fate. Life as a bird. Yet his memory, his song, has reverberated within my being. Lessons I have learned from him unmeasurable. His existence so much more than a bird, flying, crowing. I understand flight of a crow to be so much more than man could imagine. As I have experienced his existence to be a valuable lesson to us both. We are comforted by each other's emotions, our habits, our patterns. As we both have realized existence of man, of bird, is connected just by looking into one another's eyes. Searching deep within for familiarity, we share with each other. Carved in stone are images of birds, retaining secrets that man is too busy to see. Yet I try again to reveal truth, from lies. As I have lived many, many lives before. Is it me who tells a story of crow? This passed down for 1,000 times thousands of years. Yet in the now. His flight lost from trickery, man places upon himself throughout countless rises of a sun. Once again I tell a story of crow to man, leaving truth about his existence. Age of carved stone has come and passed. Faded then lost is origin of man's incarnation as a bird. Ancient secrets of birds are revealed to all. Yet, will man still be blinded by his self-righteousness? Has man lost his ability to understand his purpose for life, in flesh? To experience all around him. To look for answers within himself. Not deception easily shared by others. Chapter 12, Wandering Man. As darkness falls upon me, visions, memories, transcend into reality. I awaken in this incarnation by songs of a bird. A man of now. Obtaining memories of yesterday, knowledge, of tomorrow. I am given a gift of understanding. As I walk with man as a man. A journey begins for wandering man, to places traveled before. Yet he has just arrived for his first time in this incarnation. Confused by their overwhelming place in society. Poor, unfortunate, distraught souls. Through instinct he will find himself in places he has been before. Yet he will not see this pattern. His ability of knowing has been lost. Wandering man. On a quest to survive. Instinct has brought him to places of yesterday. These areas seem to be low-lying places. Where ancient lakes once existed. These ancient lakes are places migrating birds appear each year. Yet lakes have dried no longer existing. What is in your path, is not necessarily seen by your eyes. As time would come to pass, man's migration. I would witness. Ancient lakes now lost to man's fabrication, of shops for convenience. Now home to wandering man. Upon its shores. Yet. There are no shores. Along with birds wandering man, begins his quest for safety. Unknowingly propelled by instinct, he will find himself upon shores of ancient lakes. Wandering man is living in fear. Yet propelled by a distorted instinct, perception. As man wanders about level ground. Familiar places, people, creatures, cross his path. Yet. Man has no sense of connection to his origin. This has become a secret withheld by others, who have distorted purpose of life. In flesh. As he journeys through this confusion, a veil is placed upon his eyes, his inner self. Only through trauma does he begin to see the value of existence. Closer to death brings more will to survive. As a lost, broken, wandering man sits on level ground. Others pass him by. Yet he is visible for all to see. Yet man does not acknowledge his existence. Begging for a place among others. A wandering man retreats inside his mind. Wandering man has placed himself in the elements, reaching out to fellow man for assistance. In a world full of mankind, wandering man begins to talk to himself. For he has no one to speak to. Wandering man begins a process of insanity. Though he exists, others seem to ignore his existence. Those unbroken do not acknowledge him, therefore he will never exist. Therefore his needs do not have to be fulfilled by those who cross his path. As a process of banishment begins from his own kind, wandering man retreats within his own mind. Questioning his existence, he begins to babble. Laughing, crying, screaming, all displayed to others as a lost mind. Yet it is those who refuse to see him that propelled him to insanity. As brief moments of compassion cross his path, he questions the intent. Afraid of his fellow man, he becomes wild among his own. Filthy, hungry, lost, soul of society. Yet it is he who suffers with great sorrow within.
Chapter 13. Black Cube. Hidden within 12 Chapter 13 exists. 7712 will guide you.